Okay, welcome to the first episode actually of a series of educational videos for humanity. We have here Mark Ducky, who's have a very valuable proposal for basically educating humanity because we're pretty dumb at the moment. I want to thank OPOP, One First One Planet, for giving us the privilege to use this wonderful technology to communicate and share this with the world. Mark?
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
What I want to try to do with this project is help the movements that are out there, trying to change the paradigm or individual paradigm changers, and show them what we should focus on in order to really get there in the action mode. So I've seen a lot of movements that are trying to recruit a lot of people, but I feel like this is a better plan. So I'm going to try to explain it. I have here a page that explains 5 major life concepts. There's not only the health button highlighted, but there's health, education, perception, philosophy, and path of life instead of work, because work's for the persecuted. So what I want to do with this is just exemplify in health, for example, that's one of the 5 major life concept topics, that within health you can find the topics medicine, seasons, seasonal food, healing techniques, what kind of vegetarian or way you should eat or is maximized for your health and body, and abundance versus scarcity. So these things, these words, they have a lot of meaning in the old paradigm, but also in the new paradigm. There's like a difference in them. So I want to explain in these 5 major life concepts, 5 different topics within each of them, what's wrong and what is the old paradigm and the new paradigm. For also one example, to just exemplify all of them in one go, is like if we say we can use the hemp plant and not kill the forests anymore and replace that and have even more durable clothing and rope and all kinds of other things that we can use for home decoration and everything, then we should go on that. But we don't go on it because it's all about money again, of course. So we have a lot of those equations in these 5 major life concepts. Why do we have this? We have this because we're not about recruiting people who are not ready for it yet. We are here to just show people, if they want to know what we're doing online, they can see it here, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we think, how we feel, or whatever, what they want to research about us. It's in there. So this is only for that reason, also this reason, which is very important. I grew up young as a kid, being called not smart or stupid even, and a lot of names, just not participating in the educational system that we have now, that all the noses have to look the same way, and your fantasy is being crushed, and there's only one teacher for 20 kids. It's not really doable. So lost train of thought there a little bit, breaking free to change.
Sorry, I had a major role in that.
No
Yeah,
problem.
our educational patterns are very disruptive. That's
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, oh yeah, so I was called certain labels, so as everyone has. So what if we have a tool that has these 5, for first instance, these 5 major life concepts, explaining already a few concepts of life, and then also in a functional button that's a search source key, where you can, sorry?
like this one.
I'll click, can I click again with control?
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh yeah, I can. Nice. I think, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So one more further. This, yeah, this one, but it's not a really not a good picture. But there's like a black dot there in the right top corner, which is also a functionality button, and it shows there in the middle of the screen. It says hemp. That's like a Google search space, sort of. But this thing is it will be functional. It's the same, a little bit same as the 5 major life concepts, but we will not address the old paradigm. We will only talk about the new paradigm concept. So if I place my labels into that search engine, like stupid or education or IQ or tests, and I find different definitions than my parents and my surroundings told me, then I can at least defend myself with this tool and say, hey, but they can call me stupid or these kind of weird labels, but I'm seeing a different explanation for the reasons and the purposes that I am, like individualism and diversity. If they don't agree with it, then at least you can make a choice in life and you don't have to cultivate all of this painful stuff for so long. And a lot of people have this problem. So this is also, for the second reason, a tool that defends a lot of all of the aspects in life within the new paradigm thinking, which goes a lot deeper than the old paradigm. And it's about truth. So yeah. So
cool. Can we go into defining how those images that you sent me to define the old educational system?
Yeah. So for example, if we indeed go into the educational examples,
like this one.
Yeah. We will find like hardcore examples of old paradigm, new paradigm thinking. So for the old paradigm thinking, we will have this picture, for example, showing that the structures of school and prison are almost equal, if not fully equal, in most cases. It's both has authoritarian structure, dress code, emphasis on silence and order, negative reinforcement, walk in lines. Like I said, all the nodes have to look the same way. Loss of individual autonomy, abridged freedoms, no input in decisions making. It crushes all of the diversity and the how do you call it? The fantasy of the child's mind. If you have no input in decision making, set times for enforced walking and eating, etc. But not only eating and walking, but more importantly, education. So if you're in love with your education, you do actually like your education, then you probably score better numbers on your test outcomes than people who like it less or are more forced within a forced chemistry doing these educations. So even then, there are times when your friends, even if you like your education, there's like days that your friends say, hey, you know what? It's sunny outside and we're free. We want to swim. We want to go out, do something. You cannot go. But if you do let the child go without forcing them to go that day, because the function of or absorbing anything when they're pressured to go is less functional than when you let them go out with their friends and let them come the next day back and learn 100 times more powerful because they want to and they're charged again. They take that away from education again as well.
I want to read this panel here that struck me a lot. The fact that millions of school children require medication on a daily basis so they can more easily assimilate into the cultures of public schooling does not mean these children are damaged. It means something is very wrong with the whole idea of schooling.
Yeah. They're taking away all of the maximizing components that we can give a child to maximizing his learning and diverse individual growth. So everyone stays at a minimum and we don't question much and we keep our noses straight in line. And that's of course a very obvious. So like in this example, these are all old paradigm quotes. They're all about old paradigm quotes, but there's not one single freedom movement out there there's pieces and parts, but there's no full system that we can give to humanity and say, this is what we're talking about. This is why we're saying, yes, this new paradigm 2.0 is better because we have these and these points within our mind that we know this is normal to understand from a child. This is the best environment. It's not mapped out. It's going to be mapped out on this project, in this tool.
Cool. Yeah, let's read this one.
Yeah, so the propaganda also, this also happened on school a lot because kids are being called stupid, and there's a lot of dividing going on there as well. While the context of winning and being stupid or smart or losing are some very fundamental things that need to be understood. So like, what is winning about? What are factors of winning and losing, and why is only one of the two being prized, even being glorified? So the example of this context to keep in mind is you are practicing to become a good ice skater, and you have practiced for 10 years. Your opponent has only trained for 1 year. So the outcome one could be you win the first prize, the one who has practiced for 10 years. And if people would wonder why, they would say, well, that's just 9 difference in practice, so there's nothing to applaud for. But still, they get millions of dollars, they get big ass cars and everything, like fame. So it's unbelievable. Then there's outcome two, which is also a possibility. The one who practiced for 9 years loses. And if wondered why by people, they could say, well, the one that could practice for only a year just had way more selfless affection for it. I say selfless because only the most say these people are born for it. It's not born for it. It's just that there's, oh yeah, well, that's a sort of born for, but you at least, I don't know what I want to say about that, but let's just go on. And the other one is, I just made a mistake there. I just sidetracked in my own mind. Let me reread that. Yeah, sorry. The one practicing for 1 year had just way more self-affection for it. Only most people would just say, well, he's just born for it. And the other one practicing the skill practices this skill from either a work position or a life survival position. Any reason less than a passionate chemistry, which is very important. And everything is not, all governments is not driving us to be passionate, but they're driving us in a survival rate because of education is such a failed program. So it's not equal for everyone to be able to make it in this life. It's programmed to have certain people be stopped, and programmed for certain other people to rise to the top. Some do want to crush souls and some don't. Some want to be moral and some don't. So then we go to the next picture of this one. You click it? Oh, I can click it as well. Oh, it's going backwards. Yeah, because this is the second one, right? Yeah. So in a nutshell, we all have a certain level of chemistry as to why we do things that we do and why we practice the things we learn. Plus in the speech we learn it. Where did it start? When did it start? How much affection is there towards learning this? Or how much your family life or peer pressure is making you learn this? So to give out prizes just to the winner in the context of being the first or in a competitive arena says nothing. It's just stupid propaganda used for distraction for our mind's eye. Why do I say that? Because in Rome they used this as well. You can see that at this picture of the gladiators fighting each other, and now we have football and all that kind of stuff, and sports in general. So all of sports in general is doing this right now, and all of our noses have to point the same way because of this education, which is actually indoctrination. Schools make sure that we understand their context of winning and success or being good, and vice versa when you're a loser without success or bad. Because if you're a loser or without success or bad, they will use those labels instead of saying, well, failing is even better than having success, because failing you can learn a lot more than having success because you already conquered the thing you need to practice. So it's just pure propaganda to make people who want to learn more and dare to venture into the mistakes so they can learn more and grow more and wiser, they try to keep those people down with this kind of educational systems. Pure theoretical stuff. There's a third one to match, to clean that one off, I think, there. So I'm trying to change those words back from losing and winning and change into correct takes or making mistakes in life. So a correct take, the first take or takes correct can indicate an individual has a natural passion for it. and can move on polishing the skill for more, more or move on to learn more skills. Mistakes, making mistakes, first mistakes can, first take or takes missed can either indicate that you have not much passion for it, or need more takes in order to perform, to form patterns of understanding and polishing. Takes until, whoa, why can't I read this back? Let me reread that.
I
Sorry?
love the term legal mafia world.
Yeah, well, it is a mafia, you know. So why not call ourselves as well mafia? Because when there's a monster, sometimes we have to become a little bit of the monster as well to defeat the monster, you know. So we have to be a little bit mafia as well, instead of being fully emotional brains, you know. So okay, I'll reread that one. So mistakes, first takes missed can either indicate that you have not much passion for it, or you need more takes in order to form patterns of understanding and polishing takes until it becomes a correct one. Winning, losing. As the ice skating example showed, people are diverse and have a different environment and upbringing, and so many factors that count into the outcomes of winning or losing, or being good or bad at something. Life is not about the competition, nor is the chemistry of obtaining the best out of you, the best you out of you in whatever skill you want to obtain in life. Sharing and finding out together is where the highest skill cultivation comes from. Love. Something this legal mafia world has yet to learn, but the moral mafia worldly family is growing, uniting and exposing truth in all corners of the world. It's just a matter of quote unquote time, and we will find out that we're all number one in our own diverse ways. The only real difference is that we're combined a collective. But a collective system to work, you need diverse components, individual puzzle pieces to the whole puzzle for it to work. So let's embrace that diversity instead of share it and trying to play this divide and conquer game constantly on it. Yeah, that's it, man.
Cool. I agree. I love the yin yang there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good time to imagine a yin yang in our abdomen and just breathe into that idea and letting our eyes kind of move in a circle with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving eyes in a circle actually massages your brain. And if you manage to put your awareness in a different place, you can imagine like circle of light massaging your inner being, and this makes your body go like, wow, this is amazing.
Nice. I'm trying it now.
Cool. Yeah, you can try it also in your hands.
How do you mean? How in your hands?
Yeah, like circling.
Your finger in the palm?
Yeah, like imagining your there's a circle in your palm, yeah. And this circle is really a metaphor for this, complementary energy movement.
Yeah, the holistic form of the two energies together.
Yeah, and it's funny we talk so much about it, and in the spirituality community or any community really, it's talked about in terms of words, but not really in terms of what it means in the human body. And in the human body, the masculine energy comes up from the sacrum to the third eye, or the front, and that's the Kundalini that everybody talks about. But nobody talks about the feminine energy that I think was suppressed for many books.
That's the game plan.
By the legal mafia.
Yeah, they totally if the world was a big ass yin yang, then the legal mafia on the highest top, they said like, okay, if we want to play this divide and conquer game, we have to go either or the full feminine side or the full masculine side. Well, the feminine side has no control in it, but the masculine side does have control in it. So they have pushed the yin yang world. As I said, if the world is a yin yang form, they pumped in like 70% masculinity in it, and there's very little, well, maybe even 80 or 90. There's very little woman in it. Yeah, it's totally suppressed. All the buildings are square. Everything is in control. Everything is about power. Nothing is about art.
Exactly. So let's break free from these chains.
Yes.
Hey, I'm here talking with Kelly from OPOP, who's giving us the ability to communicate in this wonderful fashion. And she says that she wishes to talk to you to include your method, and she says there's funding for everyone.
Oh, that's cool. You want to talk now or?
I think she's at a breakfast,
Huh?
so
She could even join into conversation, you know, or ask questions.
yeah, yeah. She's wondering if you would be okay with using gotcha.org.au for the name of this educational social network.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I'm down for anything, bro.
It's all coming together. Yeah, I guess
Nice.
we're really tidying up and making somehow a cocoon for something really big to happen.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait until like if the basics has been talked about, and we have the basics on the website as well. Then we can talk about the magic and fill in the magic, which is a lot more nicer content to film and to talk about, because we're going to be talking about constantly about new innovative paradigm thinking things, you know, like how do you maximize learning for everyone? How do you make a child and a person, every person on the planet, in their keep them in their highest excitement every day? Because that's at the end of the goal. That's the goal. Everyone being in their highest excitement every day. Well, we need to have some awesome tools and fun things then.
Oh yeah.
What was
I
that?
just recorded a quick video of that, and it came out really good.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. She says she's at a breakfast now. But yeah, we'll keep talking about this. It's really exciting. Yeah, for me, failure is the way to success. I mean, when you have succeeded, it means you've failed enough.
Exactly. So
And that's the truth, you know. It's so simple to understand it.
beautiful. There's a really fun thing that I want to say about that. So when there's two things. When I was a child, one person, the first time when I ever heard the words, I live by a guideline. I never heard this word before when I was a child. But when I first heard this person said, I have a guideline that I live by. And I said, what's your guideline? He said, well, from mistakes you learn. Because I always, quote unquote, failed in school. And it was one of those days, you know. And so he told me failing was that told me it was a mechanic of learning. So I said to him right away, I said, well, then I'm going to abuse that concept and make a lot of mistakes with good intentions, and at the end I'll learn the most probably then, or at least enough, which was my goal, that I cannot hurt people without thinking about what I'm saying. You know, like I want to understand diversity in people, so I don't hurt them. So later I found a video, like when now I'm 30, way later, I found a video that I also posted online when I did this speech in NoMap. I had this presentation and I have copied a link in there, and I showed this video as well, which is about educational system. And there's two Dutch guys explaining how children, their thinking and everything is being taken away. And within that video, they said the exact same line I said when I was young. They said, well, if I make most mistakes now, at the end I'll learn the most. And I was like, lol. They even said it as well, you know. It was really funny to see. But it's really good anti-propaganda movie, you know, that explains really good how education is rotten to its core, and it's purposely made like that. It's a construct purposely made like this. It's doing is the new thinking, if anyone wants to see the video. That's the title. Doing is the new thinking.
Doing is the new thinking. Cool. Hey, does it work for chat in 1 hour with Kelly?
Yeah, sure, man.
Cool.
I made this day free especially for this. So I didn't really force myself to do much, you know.
Awesome. All right. I'm so excited. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again, only this time more wisely. Doing is the new thinking. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Let the kids play
So,
again.
yeah, let the kids. We are all kids.
Yeah.
I
That's our
want to
inner
play a
child,
lot
man.
more.
We can't sell out in our inner child. We need to play. That's the way we learn.
Yeah.
And we gotta stop being triggered because that's cognitive dissonance.
Yes. I want to share a very amazing position to to be happy even in the chaos. This might look as very like submissive or Christian thing position, like a in church we're like this, but
Yeah.
this like a Zen position. You put your basically your
Sit on your
bum on top
heels.
of your
Heels.
heels, yeah. And
Yeah.
if you rock your pelvis, you're actually creating a pretty good wave of awesome.
Oh, that's cool. Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure points and a lot of magic in our bodies if there's knowledge about it. You know, there's a lot of tribes know stuff like this.
Yes. And so it might be a little bit hurtful at the beginning, but with the practice, or if you disregard the pain and you take it as just very strong energy going into your feet, because there's a lot to say about how you feel the pain if you accept it, or
It's
and
funny.
if you think of it as something that's helpful or healthy.
Well, it's very funny. I don't believe in coincidences, but I'm going to call the word still. But it's very coincidentally, because like a few days ago, I'm not sure how long ago, I was in bed and I always lay on my fist on my tummy, you know, because I have a little bit pain, a lot of pain there. But then I moved it and I had it on my ass muscle as well, like you're doing now. And at first it hurt, but then it didn't hurt. It felt very good, like relaxing or whatever. It felt good. And then I let
Yeah.
go of the thought and I went to sleep. But now you're showing this, and I was like, hey, you know, that brain pencil or whatever, that memory, that light, it just lighted up.
Yeah, and you see here we have like the masculine energy coming up, and we can see the feminine energy coming up. The feminine energy is from the throat to the sexual center.
Yeah.
And if you put your tongue to your palate, then the oxygen energy can flow into your feminine channel. And so if you put your tongue to the palate and inhale deeply, you can imagine this energy flowing into your tongue and into your throat. And you can irrigate the like it was water that irrigates your body. And this knowledge that I have is from Taoism, from Mantak Chia, and I recommend everybody to just get onto that. And I'm gonna
Nice.
make sure everybody knows the name Mantak Chia. So if you hear me again, you'll probably hear me saying it again. He writes about the multi-orgasmic couple, the multi-orgasmic man, the multi-orgasmic woman, and teaches freely, because on internet his books and videos are free, how to feel this amazingness.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Um, what else? Should we go to your wall or my wall and talk about something like that?
Yeah. There's still that homepage button and the community button if you think that's a good one to do.
Yeah. So we're here. How about this?
Let me see. Oh,
Wanna control?
Oh, I'm not clicking it.
You got the control now.
Okay, let me check. Okay, so that was that, yeah. Yeah, this is the home page. Yeah, so I'll start with the home page then and finish it with the community button. So the first things that I tried to explain was a little bit give the world an ability to look online what we are doing and what we think about the old paradigm and new paradigm in a few concepts. So in the health, education, perception, philosophy, and path of life, which is replaced by work, the word work. And within them, there's just 5 examples because you can go on and on and on, and we don't have time for that. But there's a lot of strong examples why we do want to do this. So that's that. Then we go to the home page, and on the home page, there's people who can who's aligned with this, can make an account and be aligned and be also a paradigm changing person, or however you want to call it. And then you go into here and you see here in the top corner, you see collective updates, and it has a few call-it buttons. It's going to be a lot more buttons, but they are health, education, philosophy, perception, and path of life. So if there's an update within your community that is about new paradigms and changing the world, then you can read what they are needing, what they are missing, or what their progress is, or whatever is going on there to make this community rise up and be functional. But if you're biased about health instead of philosophy, then you can click on the health button and only see from your community only the health related topics, what the news and updates and needs are for that. But there's also a button that can make the range of the updates of this news be bigger, so multiple communities or even the whole collective world. But that's only up to the person itself. I can imagine that if your paradigm changes from day one, you want to put it the slide all over open to the whole world, and you will see the news. If you're still biased on health part, then you'll see the updates about health of every community within this frame that you see where it says collective updates. And if you're a little bit insecure and just starting this thing, I would imagine you would put this slide on only your own community, so you can start with people who you're familiar with and slowly start to taste why this new paradigm is also for you and why there's more freedom and joy and abundance for everyone. Under there is the same functionality with the buttons, only this is your personal space where only your updates are coming. So the things you like, the projects you're involved with, the projects you have started yourself, or the creations you're creating and giving out or gifting to the world or trading in with communities or whatever. So that's for people who are ready to jump in and go and do and make this new paradigm be a reality. Then I want to go to the last button. It's here. This is almost similar than the 5 major life concepts, but it's going to be more in a full form, but still not the fullest. What I mean with that is that here you see these calls as well. It's still representing health. The green one is health, blue is education, and so on and so on. So all 5 are here. The thing what we do here is make a basic community template. So if you find here, you don't find equations about the old paradigm, new paradigm, but here's just is a solution for this reason. I first want to explain the reason, then the functionality. The reason is there's a lot of paradigm changing movements, and I find this very important. They say they want to change the world, and there's a very much simple solutions to a lot of things. Yet we're talking about very high-end spirituality and things like that, instead of showing with our big mouths why we have a better paradigm solution. So I'm proposing that we should make a template that is not written out to the fullest extent of how we should function or all that kind of stuff, but a basic template of how we could survive in all of these factors, but also maximize in our highest excitement for health, education, philosophy, perception. So how we act and be with each other, how we handle food, how we handle education, and how we handle our communities. When this basic system is set up, which we can easily make and we can easily show already to the world, then we can finally see. Then the people outside, don't need to be harvested in, but can show from a distance, hey, this is also for me, because this is freedom, maximize life, and my highest excitement and diversity will be applauded here, and you'll feel free. So that will draw in people naturally, but we first need to show that example. So I want to write this example out with some people, and it should be easy, because hemp already replaces so much. Because that's why I have this picture as example as well. To replace we can build homes, hemp cement, hemp concrete, hemp rope. It can be livestock food. It can be body oils. So many stuff we can do with it, and build chairs. And it's all so much more durable, because as we know, the old paradigm is built to make money. So every clothing, everything you buy with money, every materialism you own is built to break fast instead of be durable as long as possible, because companies would go out of business. We want that. We want to be able to be more free, keep our stuff longer and more durable, so that we create more and more and more freedom for ourselves. So our diverse, real, authentic piece to the puzzle of what we're doing here on Earth can really be found out, because we do not have time for it with all of these distractions from the old paradigm. And once this basic stuff is out, we can really dive into what are we really doing here, the big questions, We have no time for that. Yeah, that's that. Oh yeah, and then so I have.
Let me just interrupt
yes.
with
Go.
This is the fish position.
Yeah.
It's really amazing, and you can move your tongue backwards from where it is, forward and backwards, and actually it feels kind of like oral sex.
Because you're squeezing it, you can't. It's numb. It's like sitting on your hand, man.
You're like creating a tunnel. No, but you squeeze gently. Okay, go. That
takes me back to when I was young, practicing on your hand.
Now you know what I'm doing when I'm doing this.
Oh yeah, it's the last one here. Yeah, so okay. There's eight buttons. So it's the home page button I just explained, the 5 major life concepts, which are 5 buttons total, so it's 6 total. Then you have the 7th one, which is the community template, the basic concept of how we can show show the simple solutions that we already can carry out. And then there's the 8th one, which is the search source button. I already talked about a little bit, but like if you see the functionality, I want to explain one point about that. It's like, if you have a community, try to set up a community that wants to be this paradigm 2.0 and changes all concepts of life and maximize it. Then there's a start that you start from a point and then you finish the community until it's a functional thing. But when you start, there's people who need a lot of hemp probably for creating these homes and a lot of other furniture and stuff like that. So if I am a paradigm changer and I'm totally in love with building weed, just only farming the weed, then I could be a farmer and I look around on this tool and see which communities are looking for a person like that. Then I can jump in there and go there. But if you're not like that, but you're someone who says, well, there's so much applications that you can get out of this plant. So there's a side trail. I'll put in instead of the word hemp in this search engine, I'll put in the, oh, sorry, I explained it wrong. So if you put in hemp in the search engine and you enter it, you will see an explanation page, which will explain the root concept, which is the hemp plant, and from its biggest application to its smallest application. So it will talk about hemp dietary, minerals, protein, to the biggest concepts like fuel and construction and fiber, textiles, paper, those kind of things. So when you read those words, you can click on them individually. So if you're like, yeah, but I'm more into the paper or into the construction, I want to make hemp bricks, then you click on construction. So then you'll have, like, if you would put it in the search engine, you'll put hemp concrete, and then you see where it comes from, how you can create it, and everything. Like everything is mapped out. This is just an example about hemp and concrete, but so it's also education.
And the title of this video will be something on the lines of design for a new social network or paradigm that does not yet exist. I mean, we need to make it clear that we're talking about something that doesn't exist, but something that could make the world much better.
Yes. And easier to share, easier to be transparent, easier to be yourself in.
Yes. Cool. Let's see, something else.
Well, another small fun fact about having an account there is you're already indicating that you're aligned with these facts in the 5 major life concepts. For example, like that we could replace killing the forests with hemp, and people, they already looked at as a certain personality type, which is we all carry that, in this world already. In the new paradigm it will be the same, but it's in a different context. But there, at least, that you're not on a Facebook social media where you look up someone else and see a lot of fake posts and nonsense. This time, when you look on someone's profile, you'll know this is a paradigm changing person. This person is not fooling around, having fun for sure, but not fooling around in the way of being fake. So you can look up what kind of projects and interests these people have that you are interested in. So it's so amazing to connect with people like that,
Definitely. It's really amazing to be unifying the world with the best talents, let me tell you.
Yeah, all your talents will be described there and people can follow you. And when you have an update of your own creations or the project that you're a member of, or you're following this project, you will get a notification instantly. So every day you're 24/7 up to date with awesome new updates about your highest excitements and your skills in life. It's awesome. I'm gonna roll a joint.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Yeah, I live life like it's a serious game to basically unify the talents, because that's how we save the world.
Yeah, bro.
If we're just unifying like crazy, like for anybody, as you said, there's too much noise, too much people that are not prepared, and that will actually guide you into a place where you don't really want to go.
Exactly, and the most ironic thing is, like, the scared and the insecure type of people, ironically, want what the new paradigm is going to give them if they just play ball, because in a way they have something rotten in them. What I mean is, like, they have something in their closets that has happened in the past that made them insecure, or that gave them the choice to stay or remain insecure. And a spotlight for them, or a shoulder, in other words, a shoulder tap, or hey, you're doing good, feels really good for them. So they, in a sense, a spotlight feels good for them, but they take it into an unhealthy context when people give them a compliment. So if they would just drop the act that they're acting now within these movements and just go with the flow, then they'll see this new paradigm is about celebrating every single one of us. You're not alone anymore there. This is what they're craving for, not being alone anymore. Also have a shoulder pad once in a while. Man, we're all about that in the new paradigm. Praising each other. And especially our diversity as a piece to the puzzle. Because it's awesome to find out that like your highest level of your skill could be the same passion as mine, but what if it's not? Then I'm so super glad, which you of course understand as well, but a lot of people seem not to understand, is that I can be so glad that I do not have to, quote unquote, not meant bad, waste my time to gain that skill because you already thankfully have fulfilled that. But so also in return, I have fulfilled a skill that you probably didn't have time for. Maybe you do like the skill, maybe you would want it, but you understand that this other skill you are more passionate about, so you've chosen for that. But you're still grateful for the other person, me, that I have that skill to fulfill. So we have that functionality as well in the world, right? Yeah.
Cool. And I want to announce this social network that I'm making that allows everybody to create their own social network. Really, really cool. And I'll send you an invite so you can share your stuff there. Nice. Right now we're 7 glorious members. So the technology is much better than Facebook. I mean, like 10 times better. So it's just a good time to jump into something new. And maybe, you know, we do a prototype of this that you're proposing there. Although, you know, at least get the people starting to get the talents there, you know.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice to just be able to start creating these simple 5 buttons and have them finished, and then start making the functionality of or on We Agreed or on this website that you just mentioned, and start making the functionality of what we're talking about now, you know, and then we can enroll.
Yeah. We need some serious software developers for your project.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but the people that I've met, you know, on my path of unifying, none of them is software developer. I mean, I've found like 0.05% of the people that I've met that are software developers, and
it was not it.
Yeah, I used to be a software developer, actually a video game developer, but it just takes my mind into just rationality and just so much of what I don't want.
Yeah,
I stopped doing it.
And that's smart.
I know I have it in me to find a software developer that can help us, especially with the funding, because no software developer will program something like this without funding. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think we need to make some good videos out so it's good explained or something, you know, because I think it will attract good attention, because I mean it's gonna undress everything, you know. Especially the rich people, they're gonna give a lot of money to this project. They have to.
Yeah. So yeah. Any final remarks?
No, not really at this point.
All right. Well, then we'll finalize the meeting, and thank you again, One Person, One Planet. We're looking forward to interact with you guys in Australia to be able to get the new paradigm done in our time.
Yeah, exactly. Because it is possible.
Everything is possible. Okay, man. Enjoy your joint. We all need the joint together.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.